So lads, I have a whole bunch of videos ready to go today. And this was actually one that I recorded last. And I'm like, I have a video talking about there's something wrong with the Fever and how they look defeated, everything. And I still stand by those videos, especially because some of them are reactions at the time, right after the game. So I mean this when I say this. Fire Stephanie White yesterday. Like, fire her yesterday. And the reason why is not that Stephanie White is a bad basketball coach. It's not that Stephanie White is a bad motivational speaker. It's not that Stephanie White has done a bad job defending her players. It's not any of that. It's that Stephanie White and Caitlin Clark fundamentally have different understandings of the sport of basketball. Not even different understandings. What Stephanie White wants to do is not going to work for this team. It is not going to work for this team. What Stephanie White wants to do will not work. And by the way, I'm not saying what Stephanie White wants to do is won't work in general. Won't work in general. Because it has worked. She's had success. But I'm saying what Stephanie White wants to do will not work for this team specifically. And let's take a listen to what Caitlin Clark said. And she essentially exposed that Stephanie White wants them to play slow.
I thought at times we could have played a little bit faster, and I think that's on me, like not conceding in that. We still got to play up tempo. We still got to
It's on me not conceding.
Play fast. But I mean, I thought for the most part we did a lot of stuff that coach wanted us to do, and you know, that wasn't why we lost.
Like, she literally was like, "Oh, what the coach wanted us to do wasn't why we lost. I'm conceding. I was conceding by not playing fast." What is she saying? Like, this is the most damning thing I've heard Caitlin Clark say. This is the most damning thing I've heard Caitlin Clark. She didn't even say this about Christy Sides. She didn't even say this about Christy Sides. This is damning. She's saying that she needs to stop conceding and play fast, and that doing what the coach wanted them to do was not why they lost. She said that unprovoked. That is one of the most wild things. Play perfect in the first half as the offense flow and people are setting screens rolling. As soon as you see the Fever do that BS motion offense, doing what Steph wanted to do is probably the exact reason why they lost. Like, she didn't even say this to Christy Sides. It sounds like clash of styles and what they want to run. That is literally what she said. She didn't even say this to Christy Sides. She's just admitted it. She's just admitted it. That the coach does not want her to play fast. The coach doesn't want her to play fast. We hired a snake oil salesman. And she's just confirmed it. We've hired a freaking snake oil salesman as a coach. I cannot believe it. I do not believe we hired a freaking snake oil salesman in the post. Or like as a coach. Like, she literally is like, I want to turn this team into the Connecticut Sun. You know, I had success in this old style. And by the way, Stephanie White benched Dantas for the entire game tactically. And said Bree Turner was on for defensive reasons. I'm sorry. Bree Turner couldn't guard Angel Wilson any better than Dantas could. 1, Bree Turner couldn't do that. 2, Bree Turner was passing up open layups. At least Dantas was going to set screens. 3, Caitlin Clark had one turnover until Bree Turner came on the floor and was just turning it over constantly. Constantly. And with Turner on the floor, and then it just got Caitlin out of rhythm. And I mean this sounds like this is Caitlin Clark coming out for the first time and saying, I want to run fast, coach doesn't. That is the first time that she's done that. And yeah. It's a disappointing one. It is a disappointing one, and I don't think people are like talking about this. She has as good as said exactly that. We did what the coaching staff wanted until they learn. She literally came out and said, we did what I cannot believe this. I cannot believe she has essentially come out and said, man, stop telling me to play faster. It's not me. Stop telling us to play faster. Stop telling us to do this. We're doing what the coaches are asking us to do. She is as good as not thrown, and then said it wasn't because we lost. It wasn't why we lost. And again, it's like when somebody goes out there and says, complains about the referees and go, but look, they weren't why we lost. We need to do a better job of scoring. Like, we hit more shots, we win that game regardless. We can't be reliant on the refs. She's essentially as good as said, I just got to do my own thing. I can play faster. I can just do my own thing. I need to stop conceding. I need to stop listening to my coaches. She is as good as said that. That is as good as what she said. Because let's be honest, she did not listen to Christy Sides last year. And that is a thing that we've all talked about. We have all talked about how Caitlin Clark just said, you know what? Screw this. I'm doing my own thing. Like, Caitlin Clark has said that. And I'm just in shock. I'm in shock. Like, this tweet came out about 25 minutes ago. I'm in shock. And I'm in shock this has not gone more viral. White got to get out of the way. Sounds like a clash of play styles. Yeah, there's been no more responses. And I'm hoping that people are seeing this. And for me, this is as good. This is the first time. This is the first time we have seen anyone question that. And by the way, this is the first time we have seen. And if you guys want to watch this video, and I'm going to talk about all this, and this is a video that I really want you guys see it on Twitter. I don't know where this video is from. I'm not sure if this is this the person who posted it? I don't even care if it's the person who posted it. If it is, go watch this tweet. And it's explaining how Caitlin Clark last year against the Sky when she had 31 and 12, almost every one of her buckets in the first half when the Fever just took over was within, there was like 15 or more seconds left on the shot clock. And the team don't run. It was like they would inbound and sometimes shoot in 4 seconds. Because the WNBA doesn't count them as fast break points. Because they only count it off a steal. They don't count misses as a fast break point either. They only count it a steal as a steal or a block as a fast break point. But at the end of the day, it's a really not good situation. It's a really not good situation right now. And you've now got Stephanie White, a coach who has, let's be honest, she's lost her smile. She's pulled the Shawn, Shawn Michaels when he lost his smile. Caitlin Clark has lost her smile. She's lost her smile. You can tell she's not having fun playing basketball. And you can tell she was having fun playing basketball when she walked out on the floor against the New York Liberty because it was her first game back and she hadn't played basketball in a while. And you can tell after that game, you remember Stephanie White in the press conference? Caitlin needs to pass the ball to Dantas. Caitlin, we need to introduce her to Dantas. She needs to pass the ball more. Caitlin Clark was an assist and 2 rebounds off a 32-point triple-double in a win against the Mercury. And do we not remember what happened at halftime in that game? Oh, Caitlin, we're going to take the ball out of your hands. She has 6 points in the second half. She doesn't have a point in the last quarter. Was it the last quarter and a half? Or was it the last 6 or 7 minutes she didn't have a point? So, yeah. It's very, very clear that this is not a Caitlin Clark thing. That this is a Stephanie White thing. And that Caitlin Clark has literally come out there and as good as saying Stephanie White wants them to play slow, which is a crazy, crazy thing. But anyway, yeah, that's the video. I'm so disappointed in this. And I hope that something changes. But unless something changes, the Fever need to make a decision. They need to make a couple of decisions. They need to bench Caitlin Clark. They need to choose... first of all, they need to choose Stephanie White or Caitlin Clark. If they choose Stephanie White, that's fine. Then you bring in a point guard that fits her system and you put Caitlin Clark on the bench and allow her to be a backup shooting guard. Because in Stephanie White's system, Caitlin just sucks in general. Like when Caitlin's going against the coach, you got to go either for or against the coach. You have to either fully back a coach or fully back your player and hire coaches and players around that player. And it seemed like in the offseason they fully backed the coach. And right now they have a choice. They can either fully back the coach or fully back the player. Because when there's so much of a discrepancy in how both of them want to play, you got to do one or the other. And I'm not going to tell them which is the right decision to do. And I have an entire video talking about this, which is going to be titled, Should the Fever Do This? And it's bench Caitlin Clark. But it's an option. It is a legitimate basketball option is to bench Caitlin Clark. I don't think it's a good option, but it's an option. And it has to be at least a discussion. There has to be a discussion around it. even if it's not going to happen, there has been at least a discussion around it. But anyway, I'll see you guys.